Welcome to Momentum Monday, guys.
I haven't guessed where I am.
In Coronado.
That's right. We're going to be a secret rendezvous at your office to see if you're physically in country. In some safe zone, in a, what do you call a panic room somewhere?
I don't have one, but that's fine.
The weather, what's going on?
It's one of those years.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that a lot of rain this winter and cool weather.
Yeah, it's basically Seattle weather, but
very strange.
We can use some
but
rain.
10 years ago when I moved here to Coronado, it was that kind of winter, and then you had like 8 years in a row of good weather. So, shirt on still, I imagine, in volleyball for you.
So it's just like the market, 8, 10 good years, and then 1 year of rain. So.
True. And we seem to be having a great year. Let's get right to it. Walk us through the markets.
All right, let's share.
Thanks to Market Smith, our chart sponsor. The beautiful thing, Ivan. Beautiful thing.
Here's the S&P 500.
Firmly back above its 200-day.
Yes, it's up 20% since the December lows, and it's kind of stalling at the 280 level, which is to be expected after that big run in the past couple of months. I think it's absolutely normal for the S&P to correct through time, in a range for a few weeks, even a few months after this big move. What's more important is what's going on under the surface. And under the surface there, we continue to see some major moves. We continue to see sector rotations. Typically, bull markets correct through sector rotation. And for example, last week, we started to see some of the tech momentum stock to stall. Like, look at this reversal on a big volume, which,
Earnings-based worked at earnings-based. This has had a great run.
Yeah, it's earnings-based. And we see that in quite a few, other tech stocks. But in the meantime, we saw a big breakout in biotech above the 200-day after Roche acquired Spark Therapeutics for an insane premium.
The
biotechs are on fire, especially.
I have a biotech hedge fund friend who was telling me, again, I don't really trade biotechs, so I kind of get nervous in this market because there is a lot of stuff working that I just don't have a clue about. This QURE, which is a competitor to Spark that jumped.
Oh, yeah, QURE. It looks incredible, yeah.
So this is supposedly a better efficacy in phase 3 drug. And, tempted to put on just a few shares because at $2 billion, or at the valuation that Roche just bought the company at, I was reading some research. This is a $200 to $250 stock.
Yeah, actually, this one just joined the Momentum 50 list this week.
Oh, did it? Yeah. I think I'm going to own a few shares and understand that I got a 30-40% downside, but treat it like a venture capital play. So I've been reading as much as I can. Goddamn, I can't explain this stuff. Especially in 20 minutes, but I'm going to share some research with readers this week. But so that's the one that looks interesting to me, just because the sector was in play from Roche. Okay, so
biotech's on fire. Some people say that's extremely bullish because it's an indication of rising risk appetite. Others say that it's an indication of a late stage.
No, because these aren't small cap bio; these are late stage. You can see the leaders of old, Celgene, Amgen, they've struggled. It's newer names, right? Amgen broke out and then just...
Amgen is struggling. Celgene, they received an acquisition offer and the board of directors still need to decide on it.
No, so it's not the big cap. So that index is misleading. If we were to go to Coifin and look at the stocks that make up the XBI, we'd see a lot of different names. But maybe you want to open up Coifin. Are you KOY?
Yeah, Coifin.
If you type in XBI, and we can look at what tickers are part of it. You can just go in the search up top there, Ivan. XBI, and I think it's what do you call it? Component holdings. XBI holdings. Type in XBI holdings. And it'll work. No. Whoop. XBI HLD maybe?
No, it's XBI, it's for sure. So this is the ETF. But
if you go into the holdings,
let's see, it should be other
At
equities.
the bottom, graphs and tables, Ivan. No, Ivan, on the left side, graphs and tables. And you look at, I think if you type in XBI HLD or up at the top.
Okay, let's, I think it's right here. If you add this ETF here under holdings, it should generate all the stocks.
Yeah, so if you go to Koifin, you can look up all the holdings.
These are the stocks ranked by 6 months.
Yeah, so you can see no one's heard of this CAD. That's breaking out. You can go through and see what's moving the index.
Yeah, we can just sort them by 1 year, and here you go.
Yeah, so you can see no names you've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so that's how you use Koifin on that. So go back to Market Smith, Ivan. Any names that stand out to you in biotech?
There's so many in the biotech space, and even GWPH, which is also marijuana-related stock, had a very positive reaction to their earnings last week. Look at this big high volume breakout near all-time high, and now it's consolidating near all-time high. And I think if it clears 180, we can see a short squeeze. Let's take a look at the 6 days of short interest, which has been increasing. So we definitely have the potential for a short-term short squeeze.
Well, this is a weed one. This is one that I got stopped out of in December, like 120. It went to 90. Now it's back to 170. So yeah.
Puree, which one? Or this one?
GWPH.
Oh, GWPH.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely marijuana stocks had a big breakdown in December.
Leading CBD.
Yeah, it's the intersection between biotech and marijuana. It's definitely a leading company in the space, and it's the market cap of $5 billion.
Yeah, it's going to be a much
cap.
With Todd Harrison, who runs the marijuana hedge fund, this is one of his biggest positions. Okay,
he only 26 million shares in the float, so that's why it's so volatile. It's a very tiny float,
and it hasn't made money ever. So let's be honest.
Oh, it's a biotech. So yeah.
Okay, so what else do we got?
There's so many in the biotech space. It's just look at this one, CDNA, breaking out from a few-month base, relative strength of 99, but earnings are due in.
Yeah, and then there was that diabetes stock Tandem that went from 200.
Tandem, absolutely. Tandem, incredible breakout.
I had friends talking.
And a follow-through. And what's interesting about the biotechs, they made a big move in the past year or so, but they're nowhere close to their all-time highs. Look at this Tandem. It's just, it had a move from $2.
Another cancer stock, ARRY. Continues to hold its breakout. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the. So biotech risk is on. Even crypto, like not to own crypto, but crypto has rallied 30%.
Yeah.
The risk has been on. This another one.
That's another one. Amaran.
Wow. I remember
big breakout.
Go back to a
monthly.
Look, I remember when this thing was, $50.
I think if it clears this level here in a good market, the next stop is 40. So it could potentially double this year. There are no guarantees, but the chart looks. Go
back to a daily on that, Ivan. So it went from 2 to 20, and it's holding those gains. Yeah. Yep. So that's another one. So those that can trade these, these are the ones that you would want to do some work on. They've obviously had positive news. They defied they're back above their the market December highs. So if we look at like GWPH, and Blue and Cure.
Yeah, so I mean, all the gene therapy stocks and other biotechs with strong catalysts are just starting to look amazing. Blue had a really big drawdown in the past 6 months, and now it's recovered above the 50-day. And look at that tight range contraction above the 200-day. That's really constructive. And then the other gene therapy stocks, which went down a lot, even they're starting to recover.
Yeah, CRSP had like a 30% run.
CRISPR, exactly. Amazing week, even though it's still below the 200. But look at the volume.
You don't need to, those aren't the ones you need to pick right now. Although I like the gene therapy stocks because of machine learning. Okay, so that's biotech. I think we continue to see this money out of FANG into risky.
Yeah, with the exception of Google, I think the rest of FANG is kind of stalling.
Okay, so Google's looking like a nice base. It looked like hell. It's back above its December prices, November prices. Uber's going public, Lyft's going public. Self-driving cars a year closer. And I own some. It's in my 8 to 80 list. Let's take a look at Lulu, Ivan, because I was really.
Lulu is also looking very constructively for me.
Very constructive here. It's as software. I was saying, as software eats the world, Lulu is eating my closet, in the sense that I travel a lot. Obviously, my job allows me to wear informal clothing, but I've noticed even with younger kids, when their first jobs, they're wearing Lulu to work. Their bosses can't tell if it's Lulu clothing or not, or athleisure or whatever we're going to call it, but I call it fashology. So I think, they're eating the mall, right? There's a Lulu opening in every mall. They're making fast casual or dressy casual clothing for young, thinner people. You can't be chubby and wear Lulu well, but that's setting up well. Nike all-time highs, so fashology continues to win here. Those are the two more all-time highs for Nike. Don't chase these. No, don't chase Lulu and Nike at all-time highs. These are not stocks. These are more stocks you buy the big dips because they're fashion. Okay, Ivan, let's go to the 50 list and see. It's probably software still, I imagine.
Yeah, biotech and software. These are the two major themes. And last week we had ZS ranked at #1. Now it dropped a little after the big rage expansion. Yeah,
let's take a look at those. The ZS is security software in the cloud.
Exactly. The whole team, cybersecurity, cloud security, continues to be extremely hot. We saw so many big breakouts on earnings in that field, and the other one was DNA. Palo Alto also broke out on earnings.
Yeah, nice pullback here. This may be setting up for a little trade or entry level.
Exactly.
Checkpoint broke out to all-time highs. Now they're more.
Yeah, they broke out. Now they're consolidated. As long as they hold 120, I think they're.
If they hold, listen. It's not a fast grower. The reason I like Checkpoint personally is I think it's like Microsoft was to software. Checkpoint, that's a cloud. Everybody wants cloud, but I think on-site security is and web application security is just as important. May not be as fast a grower, but you can see, you're trading at 20 times earnings, not 100 times earnings, and this could easily. We're in a really long base, but it's been a hell of a great run for Checkpoint and more all-time highs. So it's not going to be as sexy as Zscaler. I think another security software that's kind of taken off. I'm trying to think through some of the names that.
Okta maybe, or RPD.
Yeah. No, Okta's more. It's a type of security. Maybe it's getting lumped in there, and I missed that part. But yeah, here we go. Rapid7.
And then you have Cyberware.
And again, you can go to Koifin and go to Hack and look at all the components of that ETF if you ever want. And then you can go create a list of them on Koifin as well, share them. So here's all the components of the ETF if you go to Koifin. And it's a little slow.
Yeah. We wait for it to load.
Okay. Anything else, Ivan, from the list?
No, these are the two major themes: software, especially cybersecurity, and biotech. And this is where I think swing traders and position traders should focus. Also, the market breadth has been incredible. We see setups in other sectors like dental supplies,
flowing in. Like
Chipotle, Etsy broke out last week. I mean, Etsy, the handmade goods.
You see where I get my ideas. I'm long, from Zendesk to Etsy to Twilio. We have our list. There's a couple here that I've missed because I didn't fully understand the companies. Exact Sciences being one, which is just an incredible idea. The short sellers are all over this EXAS. And so smart money with quotation marks is short this, but these are new ways to collect data for testing. And you can see the volatility over the years. It's had 60, 70, 80% pullbacks along the way. But this run from 6 to 90 has been pretty epic since 2016. So there are giants out there. You got to ask your friends, talk to the networks. If you see a stock on our list that is interesting, you have friends in these industries, you poke around and you ask questions. You can't just rely on your small group of friends that trades a certain way to get these ideas. Go back to the list. Another one that kind of missed, just can't do all the work on all these, was this quietly, this Coupa software, which is really interesting. I didn't really give it much thought, but thinking it was kind of like a coupon software, but really it's just an incredible financial cloud-based platform for large companies to manage spend. And it is, not a cheap stock, trading at hundreds of times of earnings, but again,
incredible growth though, and it's just turning positive.
Incredible growth, but the market's not giving you a chance to breathe if you're not trading these on price and have some kind of momentum strategy, because they're so expensive. But that's what our list does. Walk up.
Well, it's expensive because it's just started making money. I mean,
this is truly going up against ADP. It's going up against Oracle and S&P, and those are, $100 billion companies. So that, as expensive it is, it's newer software, and there's a lot of room.
Yeah, 5.7.
And there's no other way to own an incumbent. A chaser to the incumbents. And so these software companies, may be around for 20, 30 years. I mean, they're going to have to do acquisitions of their own and continue to iterate on their software, but they have huge leaders to take market share from. Okay. Talk about market wisdom quickly, Ivan, because we still, this is our, Ivan and I have a subscription service. It includes, our list. I create a portfolio. Ivan's swing trading. If you're an old Peloton subscriber, email us. We'll give you a discount. And it's about $70 a month if you pay all year. We kind of become your mentors at doing this stuff and teach you how to use our momentum strategies. And Ivan mentors you on a daily basis. I build a portfolio over the course of the month. Okay, Ivan, I think going back to the S&P chart to end it, my sense is there's just a lot of people not in this market. And if everybody's waiting for a pullback, you just may not get one.
I continue to see people.
If you take out the fourth quarter of last year, we were just in the long range. If you take out that dip below the panic of December, we've just been in this 1 year range, and with biotechs breaking out, and with China and emerging markets starting to bottom a little bit, and with the fact that money came out of FANG and the market didn't crash, these are all really positive signs. So the markets have digested a lot of nervousness and panic over the last year, and volatility, and it hasn't been easy to stay in this market, but for those that try not to overthink it. There's some good setups. All right, have a good week, Ivan.
You too, Howard.